Good evening. Once again, we return to the story of Caius, Spellsword, Dunmer, Eternal Champion, former agent of the Emperor, currently an initiate into the Blades.
Talk is free. What do you want?
Now we still need to find Lormar Winesaught. We need to find the witch that he was looking for, but seeing as we found a village, let's take a look and see what's available here first. Then of course there's all my other tasks, but we'll work with what we've got first.
Is there something you need?
I'm Angelos. Never seen you here before. First time in Narmok, then. Let me give you a little advice. We aren't used to visitors here, and we don't like what we aren't used to, so don't be surprised if people don't like answering a lot of questions. But you seem an okay sort, so if you're looking for someone in particular, or looking for services, or looking for a specific place, go ahead and ask.
First of all, tell me about Narmok.
Everyone's worried about those two breeding netch that have been attacking.
Tell me more.
That's right, there's a pair of them that wander about north here. They've just come near the town a few times. We drove them off, but I'm sure they'll be back unless someone does something.
Sounds like a job. Got any advice?
Don't fight when you're tired. Don't try to cast spells when you're tired. You'll fail much more often when you're tired. That's why veterans always carry a couple of restore fatigue potions for an emergency.
What kind of people can you point me to?
Wodarku the Khajiit hangs around the Drojigger's Rest, but he's very serious business. See Arnim, she's Hlalu of Arnim Manor. The Arnims are the local Hlalu lords. Nadine Rotharian's place is where the Camonna Tong people hang out. You stay away from there, Outlander.
What about services?
If you're you're a House Hlalu retainer or kin, you'll get your services at Arnhem Manor. If you're guild, then you'll want Wadraku Balan or Hinald at the Drogjigger's Rest. You might get some services at Nadine Rotharian's shack, and you might not.
And what about specific places?
Drojigger's Rest is the only trade house. Arnhem Manor is Hlalu Manor, so retainers and kin can get beds and services there. And apart from a bunch of fishermen's shacks, that's all there is to Narmok. Oh, and Nadine Rotharian's place is Camonna Tong country. But if you're an outlander, you do not want to go in there. The Levi Arlis, the dock offers ship passage to La Ode and Cool.
Can you tell me about Morrowind?
50% of Ranfel's inhabitants are Dunmer. The other half are Redguard, Breton, Nord, Altmer, Bosmer, Imperial, Khajiit, Argonian, and Orc in roughly equal proportion.
What about rumors?
It was inevitable. The local criminal organization, the Camonna Tong, wasn't going to stand by and let the Thieves Guild set up shop in their territory. It'll be bloody, and the Thieves Guild doesn't stand a chance.
We'll see about that. What about secrets?
If someone attacks you first, you have a right to defend yourself. If someone doesn't attack you first, you're going to break the law if you attack him.
What can you tell me about Bermanik the traitor?
Oh, that one. She's got a bounty on her head, I believe, although no one would bother trying to collect on it. She's a slippery one, often deals in shoddy items. Great promise, but low reward, you know?
From where do you hail?
We did get some fancy boots. Blind 100% on self.
Nadine Rotharian. Never seen you here before. First time in Narmok. Let me give you a little advice. We aren't used to visitors here, and we don't like what we aren't used to, so don't be surprised if people don't like answering a lot of questions. But you seem an okay sort, so if you're looking for someone in particular, looking for services, or looking for a specific place, go ahead and ask.
I think I'll just get the rundown of things. It sounds like you're going to tell me the same as your comrade there. What about rumors? All right, advice?
A fellow looking for trouble might take a peek around the old Daedric ruins on the island to the south. Probably safer than stirring up trouble in town, anyway.
Alright, I should take a look into that then. What about secrets?
If someone attacks you first, you have the right to defend yourself.
I already
Under
knew
sun
that.
and sky,
Thanks.
Outlander, we greet you warmly.
Should probably try and find the witch that stole this guy's clothes.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Looks like all of these are homes.
I'm Balan, and this is Narmak, and you're Caius? Fine, that's all taken care of. Then why don't you tell me what you want?
Tell me about your background.
I'm Balin. I do a little of this, a little of that. Guild Guide is a spellcaster of the Mages Guild who provides magical transport for a small fee. You can only travel from one Mages Guild to another, but it's the fastest way to travel between Vivek Balmora, Aldrin, Caldera, and Sadith Mora.
Can you tell me about the trader that I just brought?
It's a price on our head. They don't know how much. People don't take kindly to be showing... Oh,
Maybe we'll turn that in then. Alright, rumors. Advice.
if you're heading into backcountry, always carry a couple of Restore Health, Restore Fatigue, Cure Disease, and Cure Blight potions with you.
What about secrets? Well, I can talk to everyone, but it doesn't mean that I always get a new answer. Tell me about these breeding niche.
That's right, there's a pair of them that wandered about north of here. They've come near town a few times and we drove them off, but I'm sure they'll be back unless someone does something.
Sounds like a call for me, but
I'm Wardaku, this is Narmak, and you're Caius?
more of the same. Alright.
Wardaku's ship was attacked. Kill them if you can.
I've got a few minutes if you need something.
I was really just hoping to sell some things. So I'd rather not be blinded. We'll start with that. No, but you don't have enough money. Well, we'll carry it then. Just want to make sure the condition of my weapons is good enough to carry on. That'll do.
Yes, Outlander. What do you want?
Alright, as an aside, we'll see maybe if we can do something about the, see if we can do something about the niche.
Now this is fighting. How does it feel to know death is near? Run while you still can, child.
Obviously, doing a little material collection gives me a chance to see this sunset.
You will die where you stand. It'll be your blood here, not mine.
I'm not in a rush to take that thing on.
Mind who you're fighting.
Alright, so if there was Netch for me to fight, they're not here. Might make sense to rest, but I have a few other things to do before I can do that, so we'll carry on. So I might as well start investigating that bounty if I get a chance to follow up on the witch. I'll take it. But obviously we missed him the first time. The challenge of the dock of breeding Netch is also, I'm not quite sure what a Netch is, so it could be one of these things up here which hasn't normally attacked me. Or it could be something I haven't encountered yet. I'm sure I'll get a chance to get close enough to see. But for now, I'll exercise caution. I have a feeling this could go badly for me.
Well, I'm listening, so go ahead.
Tell me about this bounty.
A bounty on my head? Preposterous. Must be a case of mistaken identity. Can't imagine why anyone would want to arrest me. I've always been an honest trader. When questioned about her having a bounty on her head, Pemini told me that it simply wasn't true, and that it was probably a case of mistaken identity. She sounded insincere at best. As I told you, it must have been someone else that they were thinking of. This conversation is becoming quickly tiresome. Pemini has become increasingly agitated when I asked about the bounty. I fear that there is more to this honest trader than meets the eye. That's quite enough from you, Dark Elf. I'll take my leave of you now. Pemini became so enraged when I asked her again about the bounty that she declined to follow me any further. That woman is clearly not the simple trader that she claims to be.
I mean, that probably wasn't the brightest strategy on my part, but...
I'm not giving up that easily.
you're fighting.
Well, we'll see whether or not that actually turned out. In this case, I am going to need a place to stay for the night. Hey, get back here.
Oh, I heard she met an untimely end while on one of her trade excursions. Some trader, all she ever sold was some low quality and poorly enchanted. Only a real scuttlehead would deal with that thief.
What is this about?
Alright, so I don't think I'm actually going to be able to collect that bounty. Wrong spot, sorry.
Sweet skooma.
It's a trade house, not an inn.
I suppose I could spare a moment or two.
Early riser. Alright. So it was a northwest camp, but he could be confused as to the direction, so it really could be anywhere at this point. So I think the best thing for me to do is to take a look for any other tasks that I need to complete. And if we get an opportunity to fulfill them, we'll do it, but I don't know if I want to make a special... I don't know if I want to make a special trip just for this. And I need to find Margan. Just trying to remember what I needed to do for the Fighters Guild. Oh, that's right, I was going to investigate the Caldera ebony mines and then got sidetracked. Alright, In this case, let's go on our way back to Caldera.
You have my attention.
This is not the way I want to go.
How interesting. A tourist.
I can get a decent enough price for it. It's a bit tricky to figure out where I'm going, actually. So if I go north, I may encounter the niche that they were talking about. Whether or not it's desirable is another question. And I certainly seem to be off any known paths at this point. Well, it says this is the way to Caldera, so... Looks like we've been here already as well, so that's somewhat good news. Knowing that I would have been going on some of these longer journeys, it might have been a good idea to save some of the books for later. But then they do also take up inventory space, so I don't know if there's an ideal. I'll use all this to make some potions and get my alchemy skill up if I can, but I won't prioritize it right now. I'll just take the time to collect whatever materials I can without going too far off the path. See if we can get a name for one of these things. It's a little late for me to go. Alright. So, chances are the breeding netch were the ones that we could see just outside the town. So if memory serves, we had a small digression that went down this way. Right, and it was a trainer we encountered. Just want to be a little conscious on that because my stamina is low, and so... Oh.
You will die where you stand.
Trying to get some opportunities to use the destruction magic as well. Destruction and restoration are sort of my two priorities. But obviously not at the expense of other opportunities. I do feel that I'm having to balance my finances a little bit better with training, which is good because I suspect my larger wealth at the end of the other games was not the system working as intended.
Seems a bit chilly today, doesn't it?
Tell me more about this witch.
Onward, friend. We must find this witch before she moves again. I can feel Cloud Cleaver calling out to me to rescue it from the clutches of evil. Ah, me axe Cloud Cleaver. A fine blade she is, though now I fear what that witch's touch will do to it. My own father, Balmir, used it himself to slay the terror of Hrothgar's quagmire, he did. Now granted, the terror turned out to be a newborn nixhound eating the neighbor's marshmallow, but my father found him and slew him nevertheless, as is the grand fashion I've ever borne witness to. I cannot wait to have the blade in my hands again. Then I'll use it to take that witch's head clean off, I will.
The weather effects are certainly very pleasant. Alright, so this is the path to Caldera. I am going to take a small digression down the road, just on the chance that we find the witch. But I won't go too far. This looks promising.
So what do you want?
Hello there, stranger. I see you've already met my good friend Lormar. My name is Saucia Tianya, the healer. How can I be of assistance to the two of you?
Wait, you know this fellow?
A right funny story that one is. The true story, Caius, is that I took Lormar on as a traveling companion for protection, and only for the road to Caldera. Along the way, he was getting entirely too friendly for his own good, to a point where I actually had to cast a sleep spell on him, just to teach him a lesson in manners. I stripped him and left him by the road, all to be sure that he didn't come after me for retribution. I took that cloud cleaver that he's always been fawning over as well.
Now, why would you do that?
I don't think he's ready to get it back quite yet. I still see that rage burning in those tiny Nord eyes of his. However, if he meets me in 3 days at the Mages Guild Hall in Caldera, I will return everything I have of his, but not a minute sooner. Tell him that is Saucia's offer. You heard my offer. It will not change.
Tell me more about your background.
I am Saucia Caristiania, healer.
What rumors have you heard?
At first it seemed that the fuss about the Nerevarine prophecy was just a silly superstition. Then I learned that the Dunmer have been waiting for Lord Nerevar to come back for centuries. The Incarnate, they call it. Every few years an Ashlander appears and the tribes call him the Incarnate. The temple goes out, hunts him down, and reveals him as a fake. Why does the temple fuss so much about it?
I don't know, but people keep telling me about this. Any advice other than don't get too friendly?
Are you interested in the healer's trade in Morrowind? Maybe you should talk with Yigfa at Fort Pelagiad in Pelagiad Village. She's very nice, experienced, and very patient with questions.
I'm actually going to make a note of that now. What secrets can you offer?
Someone attacks you first.
We've already got that one, thank you. What about Morrowind?
Slavery is protected by law in Morrowind. Slavery is illegal throughout the rest of the Empire, but some Dunmer still defend their ancient right to own slaves. In Morrowind, slaves are bound by enchanted slaver bracers. The bracers drain the magicka from the slaves so they can't use magic to escape. Unless you have a key, you can't get the slave bracers off. The Emperor should put a stop to slavery, but the Dunmer claim it as the right to own slaves is guaranteed by the armistice.
Finally, tell me about your trade.
I'm a healer. I have sworn solemn oaths to the College of Restoration to heal the afflicted and cure the diseased, but I've also learned that preventing harm to others often requires a more active opposition to monsters and malefactors, so I have studied both the unarmed, unarmored martial arts of the Khajiit and the light-armored and blunt weapon styles of the Imperial West, both for self-defense and for disabling or killing dangerous opponents.
Thank you. I think I've heard everything I need to know. So it was on First of Hearthfire, or Heartfire.
Who put that there?
Not so close. I don't want to catch what you've got. It's just a common disease, but you'll need to find an Imperial cult altar or a temple shrine or see a healer or apothecary to get yourself cured. Otherwise, no one is going to talk to you.
I did not realize I was diseased. was her offer.
Well, I'll not be waiting another 3 days to have me bloody axe when it's in the hands of that damned witch. Are you going to help me, friend, or you believe in the lies spilling out of that witch's face?
I believe Saucia.
You're growing weak.
Then you'll die alongside her.
You will die where you stand.
Gonna try a non-violent approach here. He's gonna knock me out. I'll wear him down as I can. I'm really not equipped for this.
You're growing weak.
I wonder if there's a, I may not have the stamina to finish this off. Well, he doesn't seem to be letting up, that's for sure.
Now this is fighting.
So far as I can tell, I have not successfully landed a single punch on this guy.
You're growing weak.
Alright, that's enough of that.
All right, I'm listening.
What can I do for you? I'm sorry to hear that he is dead, but he was a fool, such is the way fools meet their end. And I will take Cloud Cleaver to one who can handle its power.
What about me?
Lormar's obsession with that axe led to his death. I'll leave it with someone who can use it well. I thank you for your help, stranger. I think that hothead would have killed me if you had not intervened. Here, take these potions as my gift to you, and seek me out if you ever require my services in the future.
What if I want your trade? Well, I was kind of hoping to find out where I'd be able to get her services, but... So now we will investigate the Caldera ebony mines, and then we'll head back to Balmora to take a look at the, or to turn in the quests. I am almost certainly not ready to take on the Camonna Tong, but we'll see if I have some options available there too.
There are many creatures beyond the cities. Good hunting.
Hey you, you're not one of them town bosses, right? How about you help me, huh? I'll give you a present.
What kind of help do you need?
You want to help? Sure you do, good friend. Look, those guys in Caldera think I did something bad, so they're looking for me. I'm too smart for them, though. I can hide real good. My friend can help me. Maybe you can bring her a note for me. I can give you a present. Really?
I'll take the note.
Good, good. I guess you know how those town bosses can be, too. Mean. Good thing I'm smarter than them. You take the note to Bashuk Grabat in Caldera. She's a good friend of Burgal. She helped me out. Okay, bite me.
What about the present?
You get the present when I get help. Come on, big hero. Let's go. Get my note to Bashuk. Bashuk, help. Stuck in woods because sword-smacking town bosses think I did what we did, but they shouldn't know. Keep secret! Come get me as soon as possible when you can now. I'm hiding by the tree near a rock and another rock. It was raining. I am good at hiding, so if you don't see me, that's where I am. Come now.
I kind of feel like I should mention this to the town bosses. Shield is rather expensive for what it does. I don't think it's ever actually protected me that much. We're right on top of Caldera, so maybe it's a good idea for me to go into the city first and lighten my pockets. So we'll see if there are authority figures in the town that can deal with this note first.
I'm an officer of the Imperial Legion. Move along.
Anything about the bounty? Thought not.
Keep moving.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
Ah, welcome. What may I do for you?
Well, it does say they're a lawman.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
I mean, if I can't find any authority figures who want to deal with this, I might as well toss it into the,
Is there something you need?
I'm gonna try something here. Alright, this will be one rare case where I take a look at the wiki, and I just want to see whether or not it's possible to deliver this note for someone, or just in general if you can do something. Well, that's not loading, so I will. No, here we go. So it just seems to indicate that I can pass the note on. Seeing as there are no lawmen interested in
Yes, Outlander. What do
in
you want?
actually dealing with this issue, I see no problem in helping them out. I should probably sell at the guild.
Greetings.
Yes, Outlander, what may I do for you?
They don't have that much money. To buy anything.
Ah, welcome. What is it, friend?
Do you have some... Oh, actually, rook would be helpful.
This is unexpected, but not unwelcome. Please, go ahead.
I'm gonna hang on to the rest of this. It is a little silly for me to be hanging on to so many weapons, but for now I have to work with it. There is better alchemy goods, but I don't think I can do it yet.
Walk with virtue, Outlander.
Restoration might have been the smarter one for me to go for, but... Alright, so we'll stop by Bashuk. We will find our orc companion. We will check out the mines.
My dear friend Bashuk, I have sent final notice to Velvenus. I'll write again when he gives me a response. Until then, please sit tight. I predict it will be bashing time for you again soon enough. Sincerely, Ergola the Pawnbroker.
Alright, interesting.
Is a virtue, friend. Welcome.
You got a note from Bugral to me? Where did that fool get himself? He's not smart like me, you know. Yeah, that Bugral always seems to be getting into trouble. Not me, though. I'm too smart. He's a good hider, but I'm a better finder. I'll find him near tree and rock and other rock. No problem. You feel better if you take this note to him, if you can find him. I bet you're not as good as finder as me. Not even close, I bet. But give it a try, big shot.
We will leave before I try and read that note.
Bugral, stay where you are going. We'll look for you there. Who is a stupid dark elf anyway? Don't tell about what we didn't do that town bosses know we did. Better that way. Shh.
These two are just too smart for me.
Friend? Hello. I don't know if I can help you.
I was wondering if I could find out more about what the deal is with this guy, but... no luck. So we'll go check out the mines, and then we will head back to
How can I
Balmora.
help you?
Unless maybe I find an opportunity to take on that necromancer on the way. Oh, that's right, I was gonna go to Bugroll first.
There are many creatures beyond the cities.
Good.
Good hunting.
You back. You got a note from Bushhook? Gimme. Whew. Good thing you got my note to her. She'll help. I suppose you want your present?
Yes.
Here's your present. I'm sure you'll like it. In a nice rock. Stupid hero. Right. Bugroll wants me to deliver a note that he gave me to his friend Bashuk, Grabat, and Caldera. He promises me a present if I do so. I can only imagine what that might be. Delivered Bugroll's note to Bashuk and Caldera. Quite a pair these two are. Bashuk Grabat gave me a note to bring back to Bugroll, assuming the little coward hasn't run off somewhere. This is so demeaning. Finally, I gave Bugroll a note from Bashuk. I can't believe I am playing messenger for these two.
But it looks like he did give me a diamond if the note was correct. Maybe not. Yep, there it is. Alright, not a stimulating conversationalist, so I'll carry on to the mining. We've already cleared out where we needed to go for the Fighters Guild, so at this point this is just purely seeing if there's an opportunity to do something in here. If not, we'll find out where the necromancer I need to take out is. Alternatively, we'll head back to Balmora, and we'll find other things to do. I know my advancement in the Mages Guild is halted until I can get my skills up a little bit more. So that means I'm either looking for opportunities to practice them, or people to train me in them. And I think the best way for me to do that at the moment is just to do more quests. If if I hit my limits on both the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild, it probably makes sense for me to do more for the blades. Because of course the purpose of me running around Morrowind doing these things was to continue down the main quest.
Outlander, what do you want?
Do you have a question for me, Caius?
Tell me about the ebony mines. Well, more of the same, it seems. I don't even remember if there was anything,
Yes, Dunmer? What do you want?
I don't really think there was that much for me to do in here. Alright, I can always head down, but I will wait and see what I can find at the
Anytime
upper
now.
levels.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
What are we looking at for health? 5983. That'll do for now. If I can find where those stairs go down, that'd be interesting, but not a huge priority. It's tempting to take the slave key.
What do you want?
Rules. Damage to company property will not be tolerated. If any further scratch marks are found on the bedposts, all miners will be given double shifts for the rest of the month. No talking after sundown, no talking during feedings, and no talking before sunrise. Always obey guards and mages promptly and without question. Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free?
First, tell me about Caldera.
Caldera is a town and a mine. Slaves work the mine. We know nothing about the town.
Don't tell anyone.
You have the key? Will you let me go free? Yes. Cassina is free. You're a good friend of Cassina.
It's up to you to figure out what to do if the guards find you.
Inora, as punishment for last night's incident, you have been assigned to the mine's deep scouting position for all next week. I hope this will help you remember that you this will help you remember that you always cover up after you are finished outside from now on.
I always thought it was the Argonians that the Dunmer enslaved. You never know where you may find some ebony. So I'm fine checking out these lower areas. I just want to find some natural paths to it rather than jump off of an edge that I can't come back up. Alright, so that's the mine. I'll be checking that out right away. But I first want to see if there's any other doorways or any other passages that lead me back into the quarters. Don't mind these fights if I have to do them, but it's not clear what the benefit is yet. I've decided to put a tomb in the middle of a mine. reason for that is in case I find a ghost. Again, this can be a little bit trickier to manage. Not really repairing that much. Well, so much for that. I tried to hold off as long as I could, but give myself a quick pick-me-up until we try for the next one. If it comes down to it, at the end of this tomb, I can use up my remaining magicka on healing, and then we'll just do melee until we're fully spent. Paralysis. Seeing as I did just get a restore magicka. Alright, we've already got this, but that doesn't mean I can't sell it later. I want him to get really mad seeing me pick up all this stuff. Oh Jesus, this is a big guy. Alright, so clearly something's knocked down my strength. But it doesn't list under the effects. Interesting. I may have to sleep this out then. Still encumbered. It's a 3-minute difference. I'm gonna see what happens. I want to see if resting properly addresses it. Alright, I'm genuinely curious what caused that. Alright, so that's reducing my endurance. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. Alright, so there is a grave curse on me. But that's gone. So I'm curious why that other one seemed to be permanent. I didn't mean to do that. So he's definitely casting something. dread curse. So what I am... Oh, that's even worse than last time. Alright. So what I am curious about here... Let's say for a minute that I just drop everything. 39. No, I'm not even trying that. I don't normally like wanting to play like this, but I have a feeling it's going to be especially irritating if I try and run through some of it. This is slightly more manageable. So I want to see if that altar can fix the problem. That was a little irritating, but we got through it. Or so I thought. So we don't have to experience that again. It's good to know there's a way of removing the curse. In the worst case scenario, it just involves dumping a bunch of gear. This new helmet. Yeah, it's not as high though. Well, it doesn't restore health. I'll go with what I've got for now. So keeping in mind we still haven't gone through the, still haven't actually gone to the Caldera mines. But I'm happy to investigate this little region first, and then we can go to the mines afterwards. Alright. It's diseased, but nothing permanent. Well, at least I'm getting the daily practice in. Alright, just going by a glance, it looks like we've more or less seen what we need to see in this region here. So the last thing is to actually go into the mine, although I'm a little curious. It does seem like there's a couple of holes in the map, so we'll investigate those and then we'll go into the mines. I also need to remember to put the slave key back. Though I suspect they can probably put 2 and 2 together and figure out that that dark elf that was wandering around asking questions might have something to do with the slaves disappearing. Alright, so the gaps exist because there are walls. At 50, so that would mean that my destruction can't go up any higher by training. My restoration can, though. And then whatever other ones I want to consider. No reason to go with weapons drawn. This shouldn't be infested with enemies. So I should be a little bit careful around guards in case they suspect me of doing something.
I'm an officer of the Imperial Law. Move along.
Tell me more about the Imperial Law.
Don't steal, don't brawl, don't start fights, don't kill except in self-defense. If you're caught, guards will let you choose your punishment, fines or hard labor.
Who is Apelles Matthias?
He recently arrived from Cyrodiil. You'll likely find him inspecting the grounds at Emmerhard.
That doesn't really answer a lot for me, but fair enough. Tell me about the mining company. Alright, what about the mines? Okay. What about your background? You're a Hlalu guard. Well, tell me more about House Hlalu.
If you wish to learn of my house, go to Balmora.
Alright then.
The raw ebony deposits here are the richest in the world, but don't think you can just come in here and pick the stuff up. This mine belongs to the Emperor.
I'm sure he won't mind.
I'm listening.
Death is
Go
upon
ahead.
you. You should find a healer.
that's true, by the way, but yes. Apparently, they did not think twice about it. I am curious if they'll be annoyed at me trying to take the, Oh, yeah. $400 gold. Screw that. I suppose technically I was warned about it, but just trying to recreate my actions.
Blessed we are.
Yes, Outlander?
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
So, I am at some point I'm gonna see whether or not you can try sneaking away some ebony,
Death
but
is upon you. You should find a healer.
they keep saying that, but I'll investigate the mind first.
This is an honor for me.
You freed me, Caius. Are you in the twin lamps? I do not know if they really exist. It is said that they help slaves like us escape. Until you arrived, I did not believe I would ever see Argonia again.
That is very interesting.
Is there something I can do for you?
This is an honor for me.
Outlander, what do you want?
Alright, well, I will experiment with ebony pilfering, but again, I want to explore the mines first. Actually, I guess there's one quick test I can run. Should just be way in the back here. Yeah. There may be a level of sneak that I can get that will change that.
This
but
is an honor for me.
Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free? Yes, Kazura is free. You are a good friend of Kazura. Kazura only knows rumors. They help slaves escape. They take us back to elsewhere.
Warmly greeted, friend. Welcome.
Probably nothing.
You're in an ebony mine, and all the ebony mines belong to the Emperor, so don't touch the ebony, or the guards will kill you.
I'll just free the slaves and...
What do you ask, master?
in broad torchlight.
Is there something I can do for you? You may speak.
Warm sands.
Well, now I've gone and done it.
Wealth beyond measure, Outlander.
Alright, looks like we freed all the slaves. I could take the bracers, but they're not really worth that much. So one last thing I'll do is just head back into that building and see what happens when I go through the lower exit. Oh no, it leads me exactly here. Alright, so I'll return that key back to where I found it. So I'll see if there's anything interesting that we can talk about.
Yes, Dunmer? What do you want?
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about freeing the slaves.
Masera.
Qualma foragers rage far from their homes, deep into the ashlands, as far as the Ghost Fence. Foragers caught in blight storms become infected, and in return infect their queen and the whole colony.
Not quite sure why he told me that, but good to know. Alright, so I know everything that this place will show me. It is 4 in the morning. I think we are either due back to Balmora, or we need to find out about this necromancer. Alright, so Margon, which I don't believe I have on my map yet. We'll take a look for it on signposts, but until I find an instruction to go there. Until I find directions, I will head back to Balmora. suppose I can always try some alchemy on the road, but... I wonder if the orc's still kicking around. Actually, I might be in the wrong spot.
How can I help you?
Let's see if the Mages Guild has anything to say about the...
Yes,
No.
Outlander, what may I do for you?
Alright, this won't be the most exciting thing in the world, but I think I am going to try a little bit of alchemy. Except for the diamond, of course, which I will sell. It's always a little hard to remember what I've already got. So I may have have something else with drain luck, I can't remember. I do. Alright, so I think I've done the drain. Let's try on restoration. Huh, I could have sworn I had some other resist fire. Alright, no resistances, it's just restoration. Possibly restore strength, but I'm not 100% sure. Nope, this is what I got. Yeah, we'll probably get 100 gold for poisons. Alright.
How may I help you, Dunmer?
Can't complain about that return. I think it was Margar was the yeah, Margan. So again, if I find a path to Margan and it's not too far out of the way, I'll consider it. Otherwise, we're on our way back to Balmora, and we'll see what kind of advancement we can get. So as we were saying a little bit before, the plan right now is, as instructed, we have been working for the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild to try and level up our abilities. We have hit sort of a cap in terms of our ability to work with the Mages Guild. That might be different now that I've got more points in destruction. But overall, we seem to have hit a bit of a cap there. We will pursue our sort of our assignments and our advancement in the Fighters Guild, and if we're in a similar situation there, it might make sense to try and pursue some of the tasks for the Blades. I also have a mission to take out the Camonna Tong, but they are a bit too strong for me right now. I at least want better spells. And of course, I have had a very long night, so at some point it would be nice to get some rest. Ah yes, and then there's the Balmora ruins, which I want to check out. Should probably free up some space. So we have a few different tasks that we can perform, but the question is just what the best order is. This also seems like a different route than I took the last time.
Yes, Outlander. What do you want?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to use, I suppose. Too much. Oh, it's because that's the cost for each individual unit. All right. Guess this will save me a little bit of money too.
Well met. Greetings.
Alright, let's see if there's anything extra that I can sell off. Still not sure if I want to hang on to this. I mean, restoring health is definitely nice. Alright, I think I have a few of these that I will sell. For now, we'll work with what we've got. also just see if there's anything that they've got that might be an improvement. Not much, although there was a detail that...
Well, friend, what brings you here?
I heard about. Oh. I think that was F1 I hit. Yes. Oh, this is great. Alright, I'm just gonna queue these all up for my main. Should figure out what these bound spells do. And then I'll do the healing in descending order.
Do you have more information on the Tilveni agents? I need to know. We've got all 4. Good. That'll make some people at Caldera Mining Company very happy. Here's 400 septims. The Caldera Mining Company pays well, and when you're ready for more orders, let me know.
Let's talk about advancement first.
Your talents are noteworthy, but some question the depth of your devotion. Perform more duties for the Fighters Guild, and you will earn your place.
Alright, what are the duties?
I need someone to return a code book that belongs to our client.
Tell me more.
The code book our client wants is in the hands of Sawtild in South Wall in Balmora. Find that code book and bring it back to me. She's Thieves Guild. I take full responsibility. And listen, I'm Guild Steward. When I say jump, you ask how high. Keep that in mind and we won't have any problems.
Alright.
Well, this is a grand day. Greetings.
Well met. Greetings.
Start by going to South Wall, obviously. I'd love to do some training in the Mages Guild, but I'd kind of like to start by finishing off some of these tasks.
Welcome to Balmora, council seat of House Lalu. How can I serve you?
The code book.
What code book? I wouldn't talk to you about that sort of thing.
Today's your lucky day. So let's hear it.
I'm listening.
Good hunting.
Alright, I'm assuming if I try to steal it, that will count as a violation.
I take it you want something. Well, what is it?
Guard! Stolen for the last time, thief!
Turns out she didn't have it anyway. So I'm assuming bribery
You've got
might be
the
the
better
trick.
of me. So go ahead.
Okay, friend, you know about the code book. I don't want any trouble with you, so just take it. Just don't tell anyone that I gave it to you.
Apparently no good at the whole speechcraft thing. Even though my sign is the lady. What is my personality anyway? 55. I feel like I should be doing better than I am. Although I suppose that's just an excuse to get some more spells that will improve that.
What can I do for you, friend?
Glad to see that codebook, Caius. Hand it over and I'll get you your payment. Here's 50 septims. The guild needs more like you, obedient and efficient. If you want more orders, just ask.
Advancement.
The Fighters Guild recognizes you, Caius. You are now Caius the Swordsman.
What about further advancement?
Your talents are noteworthy, but some question the depth of your devotion. Perform more duties for the Fighters Guild, and you will earn your place. Helvain Desley owes one of our clients 200 septims. Deliver Desley's debt money to me. She runs a corner club in Suran. She owes Manos or Ortholeth, one of our clients, 200 septims. Bring this money to me, and I'll let you keep half of it.
Welcome, friend.
So at the very least, we can net it out if I spend 100.
How may I help you, Dunmer?
Let's take a quick look at the Mages Guild and see if they'll... I don't think they should let me advance, but I do want to see what they tell me if I can't advance.
Meet our requirements, guys, but you've not yet completed the duties expected of a magician.
Alright, that's good to know. I'm going to try and sell off a few things here. Need to find a pawn shop. So I can understand the fortifying willpower just for the spellcasting ability. Nope, they don't have the money for that. Let's start by seeing if I can get some destruction training. No, actually, yeah, before that, let's see if I can buy some spells that are destruction oriented. So these are all interesting in terms of the resistances and such, but I am a little cost conscious, so I'm not quite ready to work on that. Alright, weaknesses are for 500 is a little too much to ask. alchemy is a little tempting, but I want to keep focused if I can.
Yes, Outlander. How do you do?
Alright. So, the governing attribute. So I can train quite a bit in terms of restoration. Now, it's been a while since we've done this, so I'm going to start going through some, but not all of the written works.
The House of Troubles. Among the ancient ancestral spirits who accompanied Saint Veloth and the Chimer into the promised land of Morrowind, the four Daedra lords, Malekith, Mehrunes Dagon, Molag Bal, and Shegarath, are known as the Four Corners of the House of Troubles. These Daedra lords rebelled against the council and admonition of the tribunal, causing great kinstrife and confusion among the clans and great houses. Malekith, Mehrunes Dagon, Molag Bal, and Shegarath are holy in that they serve the role of obstacles during the testing. Though through time they have sometimes been associated with local enemies like the Nords, Akavari, or mountain orcs. Malekith is the reanimated dung that was Trinimac. Malekath is a weak but vengeful god. The Dark Elves say that he is Malak, the god king of the orcs. He tests the Dunmer for physical weakness. Molag Bal is, in Morrowind, the king of rape. He tries to upset the bloodlines of houses and otherwise ruin the Dunmer gene pool. A race of monsters, said to live in Molag Amur, are the result of his seduction of Vivek during the previous era. Shegarath is the king of madness. He always tests the Dunmer for mental weakness. In many legends, he is called upon by one Dunmer faction against another. In half of these stories, he does not betray those who called him, further confusing the issue of his place in the scheme of things. Can he help us? Is he not an obstacle? He's often associated with the fear the other races have of the Dunmer, especially those who, like the Empire, might prove as useful allies. Mehrunes Dagon is the god of destruction. He is associated with natural dangers like fire, earthquakes, and floods. To some, he represents the inhospitable land of Morrowind. He tests the Dunmer's will to survive and persevere. The worship of these four malevolent spirits is against the law and practice of the temple. However, the Four Corners seldom fail to discover those greedy, reckless, or mad enough to serve them. By ancient temple law and custom, they are also by imperial law, the lives of witches and warlocks are forfeit, and imperial garrisons join the ordinators and the buoyant armigers of the temple in tracking down and destroying these foul covens in the wilderness, refuges, and the ancient ruins where they conceal their profane worships. Where were you when the dragon broke? Korak, Cyrodiil, Elder Council. No one understands what happened when the Selectives danced on that tower. It would be easy to dismiss the whole matter as nonsense were it not for the Amulet of Kings. Even the Elder Scrolls do not mention it. Let me correct myself. The Elder Scrolls cannot mention it. When the Moth Priests attune the scrolls to the timeless time, their glyphs always disappear. The Amulet of Kings, however, with its oversoul of emperors, can speak of it at length. According to Hestra, Cyrodiil became an empire across the stars. According to Shor-El, Cyrodiil became an egg. Most say something in a language they can only speak sideways. The council has collected texts and accounts from all of its provinces, and they only offer stories that never coincide, save on one point. All the folk of Tamriel during the Middle Dawn, in whatever when they were caught in, tracked the fall of the 8 stars, and that is how they counted their days. Mira Nabisi, Dunmer, triune mistress of the new temple. Accounts of the Middle Dawn are the province of the Empire of Men, and proof of the deceit that they call themselves the Aedra. 8 stars fell on Tamriel, one for each iniquity that Lorcan made clear to the world. Veloth read those signs, and he told Boethia, who confirmed them, and he told Mephala, who made wards against them. He told Azura, who sent Almsivi to steer the true folk clear of harm. Even the Four Corners of the House of Troubles rose to protect the periphery of your madness. We watched our borders and saw them shift like snakes, and saw you run around in it like the spirits of old, devoid of math, without your if-thens, succumbing to the ever now like slaves of the slim folly, stasis. Do not ask us where we were when the dragon broke, for, of all the world, only we truly know, and we might just show how you break it again. Raylet Harar, Khajiit tender to the main. Do you mean, where were the Khajiit when the dragon broke? Raylet tells you where, recording it. 1008 years. You've heard it. You think the Cyro-Nordics came up with that all on their own? You humans are better thieves than even Rajin. While you were fighting wars with phantoms and giving birth to your own fathers, it was the Main that watched the Jakajay, because the moons were the only constant, and you didn't have the sugar to see it. We'll give you credit. You broke Alkosh something fierce, and that's not easy. Just don't think that you solved what you accomplished by it, or can ever solve it. You did it again with Big Walker, not once but twice. Once at Rimmen, which we'll never learn to live with. The second time was in Daggerfall, or was it Sentinel, or was it Wayrest, or was it in all three places at once? Get me, Cyrodiil? When will you wake up and realize what really happened to the dwarves? Manimarco, god of worms, the necromancers. The three thieves of Morrowind could tell you where they were. So could the High King of Alinor, who was the one who broke it in the first place. There are others on this earth that could too. Ysmer, Pelinal, Aron the Fox, or should I say Arctus. The last dwarf would talk, if they would let him. As for myself, I was here and there and here again, like the rest of the mortals during the Dragon Break. How do you think I learned my mystery? The Marukati selectives showed us all the glories of the dawn so that we might learn simply as above, so below.
That was not the easiest one to read. I feel like I've read this one before, but I don't remember exactly.
On Artaeum by Taurus, Il, and Selma. The Isle of Artaeum is the third largest island on the Somerset archipelago, located south of the Morrowind village of Pontassa and west of the mainland village Runesibay. It is best known for being home to the Psychic Order, perhaps the oldest monastic group in Tamriel. The earliest written record of the Psychics is from the 20th year of the First Era and tells the tale of the renowned Breton sage and author Veronet traveling to the Isle of Artaeum to meet with Iakesis, the Right Master of the Psychics. Even then, the Psychics were counselors of kings and proponents of the Elder Way, taught to them by the original race that inhabited Tamriel. The Elder Way is a philosophy of meditation and study said to bind the forces of nature to the individual will. It differs from Magicka in its origin, but the effects are much the same. That said, it is perhaps more than coincidence that the Isle of Artaeum literally vanished from the shores of Somerset at the beginning of the Second Era, at about the time of the founding of the Mage Guild in Tamriel. Various historians and scholars have published theories about this, but perhaps none but Iakesis and his own could shed light on the matter. 500 years passed, and Artaeum returned. The psychics on the isle consisted of persons, mostly elves, who had disappeared and were presumed dead in the Second Era. They could not or would not offer any explanation for Artaeum's whereabouts during that time, or the fate of Iakesis and the original Council of Artaeum. Currently, the psychics are led by the lore master Celaris, who has presided over the Council of Artaeum for the last 250 years. The Council's influence on the Tamralian politics is tidal. The kings of Somerset, particularly those of Morrowind, have often sought the psychic's opinion. Emperor Uriel V was much influenced by the Council in the early, most glorious parts of his reign, before this disastrous attack on Akavir. It has even been suggested that the fleet of King Orgum of Pyandinea was destroyed by a joint effort of Emperor Antiochus and the Psychic Order. The last four emperors, Uriel VI, Morithana, Pelagius IV, and Uriel VII, have been suspicious of the Psychics enough to refuse ambassadors from the Isle of Artaeum within the imperial city. The Isle of Artaeum is difficult to chart geographically. It is said that it shifts continuously either at random or by decree of the Council. Visitors to the island are so rare as to be almost unheard of. Anyone desirous of a meeting with a psychic may find contacts in Potanza and Runesibay, Runakabe? I don't know. As well as many of the kingdoms of Somerset. Were it more accessible, Artaeum would be a favored destination for travelers. I've been to the Isle once and still dream of its idyllic orchards and clear pastures, its still and silent lagoons, its misty woodlands, and the undue psychic architecture that seems to be natural as its surroundings, as well as wondrous in its own right. The Sephora Tower in particular I would study, for it is a relic from a civilization that predates the High Elves by several hundred years, and is still used in certain rites by the psychics. Perhaps one day I might return. Note, the author is currently on the Isle of Artaeum by gracious consent of of Master Sarginius of the Council of Artaeum. Galerion the Mystic by Asgrim Kolsgreg. During the early bloody years of the Second Era, Venus Galerion was born under the name of Trectus, a serf on the estate of a minor nobleman, Lord Giranas of Solic-on-Care. Trectus' father and mother were common laborers, but his father had secretly, against the law of Lord Giranassi, taught himself and then Trectus to read. They've said it multiple times, so Giranassi, I'll say, had been advised that literate serfs were an abomination of nature and dangerous to themselves and their lords, and had closed all bookstalls within Solic-on-Care. All booksellers, poets, and teachers were forbidden, except within Girnassi's keep. Nevertheless, a small-scale smuggling operation kept numerous books and scrolls in circulation right under Girnassi's shadow. When Trectus was 8, the smugglers were found and imprisoned. Some said that Trectus's mother, an ignorant and religious woman fearful of her husband, was the betrayer of the smugglers. There were other rumors as well. The trial of the smugglers was non-existent, and the punishment was swift. The body of Trectus' father was kept hanging for weeks during the hottest summer on Solic-on-Care and had seen in centuries. 3 months later, Trectus ran away from Lord Girnassi's estate. He made it as far as Alinor, halfway across Somerset Isle. A band of troubadours found him nearly dead, curled up in a ditch by the side of the road. They nursed him to health and employed him as an errand boy in return for food and shelter. One of the troubadours, a soothsayer named Helion, began testing Trectus' mind and found the boy, though shy, to be preternaturally intelligent and sophisticated given his circumstances. Helion recognized in the boy a commonality, for Helion had been trained on the Isle of Artaeum as a mystic. When the troupe was performing in the village of Putanza on the far eastern end of Somerset, Helion took Trectus, then a boy of 11, to the Isle of Artaeum. The magister of the isle, Iachesis, recognized potential in Trectus and took him on as a pupil, giving him the name of Vanus Galerion. Vanus trained his mind on the Isle of Artaeum, as well as his body. Thus was the first Archmagister of the Mages Guild trained. From the psychics on the Isle of Artaeum he received his training. From his childhood of want and injustice he received his philosophy of sharing knowledge.
By the way, this might be where I wrap things up. I would like to go longer, but it is already rather late. Alright, I did just try to barter, but let's see if I can do more. No. Alright, I can sell soul gems, so let's sell. Oh, never mind. So I might have to go straight to a pawn shop then. They're willing to buy anything. Alright, I'll work with this for now. I'll hold off on buying the training for now.
There's someone watching me. I can tell.
Rivar knows why you're here. You want to buy Ravir's famous Daedric weapons.
Tell me more.
What? You say these are not Daedric weapons? No, you're right, but Ravir is no liar. When you wish it, Ravir's friend, demon and devil weapons will be as sharp as fine Daedric and as light as a Netch air sac. This magic lasts a short time, but long enough to punch through the toughest armor. Ravir buys them direct from Telvanni. You'll not find any cheaper in all Balmora.
Alright, again, just taking the opportunity to sell off things I won't need. So what are we looking at weapon-wise? Not too exciting. So again, I suspect my time at the Council Club will be very short-lived and very painful. But let's see if we can have something else. See if we can have some magic happen.
Death is upon you. You should find a hero.
Let's see the bad people.
What was that?
Alright, so we got Thanlin.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
What did I want to trade with them? Now we're already sorted. This is just because I don't really think this will work, but let's do the best we can.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
exclusive on this one. This is interesting if I'm at the maximum level. I can still, probably not a bad time to take that. It's probably a mistake to be going after the fist character right now. Need to cast spells to heal in a minute. Oh, looks like we are on our way to the next level. I don't want to use the exclusive until the absolute last chance.
There is no escape! There is no escape!
Wow. I don't believe I actually pulled that off. And now I'm gonna have to find a way to drop some of this stuff. I wish I could sort by things like weight. covered. Alright, just so I can be clear. So it's Vedusa, Marasa, Sovor. Alright, 1, 2. We haven't accounted for Thanlin.
Do I know you?
That's the one. All right. So Sovor, Madrel, Marasa, Vedusa. Vedusa, Marasa, Sovor. Should have seen if I had any Restore Magicka. Fortunately, see if I have any Restore Health. Alright, now we have just committed a lot of crimes. That's worth a lot, but it's more than I can handle right now. Yeah, that's too much too. So I have to come back and get some of these. Before I go any further, we'll heal and prepare for the journey. And now I need to run and hilarious Pharaoh. Just need to double check where the Fort Moonmoth. Alright, fortunately it's night, so I'll probably be able to make a reasonable escape. got. So with any luck, we'll be able to enrich ourselves from the loot that we find after that fight. But first things first, I need to get that bounty off my head. Now, gotta be careful about this. Even though I'm working on orders of their boss, I'm gonna assume they're not gonna be too happy to see me. These guys, on the other hand,
Yes, is that about this? Is this about that work we discussed earlier? See, everything's been taken care of. And just in case you had any problems of a legal nature, I spoke to some of my friends and I've taken care of some things as well. And I did find that nice present from the Emperor. Here, it seems to be a ring. A very nice ring. There was no note with it, I'm afraid, but I'll let the Emperor know that you received it. I'm sure he'll be pleased. Do you like it? It's called the Ring of Surroundings. It's useful for sneaking about. I don't know much about it, but I believe that it used to belong to a bad person. We don't usually need that sort of thing in the Legion. We're a little more straightforward in our methods, usually. The bad people I was talking about? They're good people now. I think you may have had something to do with that. Possibly.
interesting.
How can I help?
Let's see if we can sell off some stuff while we're here. And it would be better if I sold it at the Mages Guild, but no, I didn't want it to be proof. What kind of shirt am I wearing now? It's fine. I'm keeping the extravagant pants. These work for me, although there's so many of them, it's rather, they wind up being quite heavy. And I haven't read these, so those are going to be going into my library. Alright, works for me for now. Let's go collect whatever loot I can. And actually, it may turn out that we finish more or less at the time I would have normally. Just while I pick up some of the items. All in all, a bad day's work. We got back to Balmora. We turned in our quests. We've lined ourselves up for the next patch. And then obviously I have a little bit more growth in the Mages Guild if I want after the upgrades I've been doing to my stats. Now some of my other traits are suffering because I'm now focusing on strength, willpower, and intelligence, but obviously those are my primary stats, so I'm gonna keep with those for a bit. I think one thing that I can do with those mallets is do all the repairs for my my armor right away. If anything else, it's just another training, and it's a way of consuming that resource while also doing something that improves my skill. Surprises me, actually. I thought that would have weighed more. This guy's not too mad at me for for murdering his entire clientele. All right, let's do what we can. We're still overweight, but not as bad as we used to be. Alright, I need to free up 9. Part of it will be just when I sell off some of the... Put down the borax for now. These things are so heavy, I don't understand.
Tell your friends about this place.
Okay. I mean, I'll be telling them a story about it for sure. I don't know if there's anything here that he buys. back to the Fighters Guild and see if I can sell some of this off to them.
Well met. Greetings.
Now come on, everybody wants extravagant shoes. Yeah, that may not make a lot of sense actually. They don't have that much weight.
You've taken a few scrapes. Sure.
This obviously seems like a lot of effort just for a bit of pocket money, but it serves as a lesson to those who align themselves with the Camonna Tong. Yeah, we're still over with these hammers. There we go. Oh, there is one other thing that I'm curious about. I don't know if this counts as as like a proper thieving act. Alright, I'm assuming that's just because that's 2 level. Let's try something a little easier. I always thought there was normally a noise associated with this. Alright, obviously this isn't working.
Please, have a look around.
No. Yeah, no. Probably should have had that enabled a while back.
Tidings and good wishes
Well,
to you,
friend, what
friend.
brings you here?
Alright, so we're doing okay for our wealth now. This will probably translate into some spells and training, but we will think about that in the future. For now, we'll call it an evening as soon as we find a place to get a proper rest after a good day's work. It also gives me a chance to put a few items in storage.
Outlander, what do you want?
Ah, greetings. What shall we talk about?
Talk about how I really need to go to bed. I am tempted to get rid of the longbow. If I were to get rid of all of these tools, that's a lot of lockpicks. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll leave that be for now. And then I'm not sure about that note. And then some of these books and notes we got off of the targets. So, for now,
Your wounds are great.
ah. And that is the end of the day. We were able to rescue some slaves. We were able to eliminate the bad people, which we didn't think we were going to be able to do. We turned in our quest for the Fighters Guild, and we've gained some levels which will allow us to advance within the Mages Guild once we complete the tasks for them. That is what we'll be doing next week. And until then, have a wonderful evening.